Hello and welcome, y'all. Today we are doing a review of the game Fractured Online. I was given a key for this game, but that will not pay any kind of reflection or anything on my views of the gameplay so far. I have put about 3 hours into the game. Within that 3 hours, I have not made it past the tutorial, so this is just going to be a beginning review. May come back and do more later. Um, First, we're looking at the character creation. It does go quite in depth with the options that you have between the different types of characters you can play, the way they look. So actually, I'm okay with it. It's got enough to where you feel like you're custom, but it also isn't too detailed with how far you can go with it. But you do have plenty of options, which is nice. I will go ahead and basically just read what Steam says about the game. For Fractured Online, define your own destiny in this dynamic open world sandbox MMORPG. Explore vast fantasy worlds, fight monsters and other players in dynamic PvE and PvP battles. Gather resources, set up a trade empire, grow your virtual home to a major city, or conquer others. Choose your own way. So, with the gameplay that I have done so far, just with the tutorial alone, I have not been able to get into the whole building and cities and trade and any of that. So, that is something we'll have to come back and delve into deeper later. For this first review, like I said, just the beginning, just the tutorial. We have our character, we're good to go. So, we're going to dive into the gameplay a little bit here. Now, this is after I've been playing for a little bit. I did go ahead and get my beast companion. Start off by fighting. Been using a bow and arrow to keep the range. I have not delved too much into the actual melee, like with the hammers, axes, and things like that. I do have to keep up with my food. On the top left, that yellow side, that's my food. I don't know if different foods have different buffs just yet. I do know that I've gotten meat, I've cooked the meat, and I've eaten the meat, but I haven't delved more into the cooking. In the beginning with the animals, I did not know how to get them to fight anything. It did take me quite a while to figure that out. I like to try to figure things out before I go in and look at the controls or try or Google or anything like that. I like to try to figure it out myself. And with that, with the companions, there really wasn't anything saying, push this to do this or this to do this. So eventually I did have to break down, go into the controls, and see how to actually make the animal fight. So I did end up having to do that. Here we have our inventory and what it looks like. Someone ran over and gave a heal, which is appreciated. There's a lot when it comes to the weapons and armor and the knowledge in this game. I did notice that it goes into a lot of detail, which is not a bad thing at all. There is also a lot of crafting you can do on your person, which is kind of nice. And here's a look of what your basic inventory looks like, your character sheet. If you click on the 20 dice, you can re-roll your stats. Now, here is where I fight my first bear. And I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to figure out why my bear won't fight. No matter what button I push, it's not doing anything. But do end up killing the bear. Every time you kill an animal that you have or a creature you haven't killed before, you do get this little like achievement that pops up right there, which is kind of cool. So it lets you know that you've accomplished something. So I did like that a lot. You loot the bodies. And here are some of the starter quests that I've been going through. But here, I finally broke down, went to the controls because I had had enough with having this bear and him not being able to fight with me. So after over an hour of playing, I gave in. I looked at the controls, we figured it out, and now we're gonna test it. There he goes! Now we're fighting. I will say the animals, at least in the beginning with the tutorial, the animals, companions that you have, they're kind of OP. Like, they help a lot. I'm certainly not complaining about it at all. I have no issue with having that help. So I need the resources, so the more the merrier. There we go. So he's finally fighting. We figured it out. We're good to go. And we can move on to other things now. Now here we are crafting our first campfire. While my bear is running around murdering everything. The crafting is pretty simple. You put down the blueprint and you feed the resources into it. And then once it has enough resources, it is considered built. So it's not too bad at all. There you have it. We have a campfire. I could not build anything else because you have to wait until you have actual land that is yours to be able to build anything else other than just the campfire. At least that I was messing around with, that I saw. So that part we haven't got to yet. We'll definitely come back and do that later. Alrighty, we are making our way to the next town. So along the way, I did unlock my second companion, which was a wolf. Initially, I assumed that you could only have one at a time. What I didn't realize until just being curious and playing around with it, I can have multiple. So here I am running around with my wolf and my bear, which to me is freaking awesome because I love animals. You can capture and tame horses in the game. This is how you would get a mount to ride around on to start, which I thought was kind of interesting. So rather than you just doing a quest and they give you a horse or you buy a horse, you actually go out to a field, throw an animal trap out, and tame your own. So it's kind of cool. So we did get a horse that way. I noticed that the stats for the horses were all the same in the beginning. I'm not sure if they level up or if just later on you have the option or the ability to find better ones. So that's something I'm curious about to look into later. But I did notice in the beginning, they're all pretty much the same. Now we're moving on to the first boss fight. So this is the boss Wolfie. There he is in his gloriousness. I actually do like the way he looks. I think he's kind of cool. There we have it. So he wasn't too bad. It helped a lot having the companions with me, but he really wasn't bad. And the thing is the enemies respawn within about, what, 15 to 20 seconds or so. So I actually kept fighting him. I fought him, I believe, like 4 times before I moved on. So I figured it's resource, this is XP. Why not? So I did sit here and farm him for a little bit. So that is something you can do. Alrighty, so now we're into this massive skill tree here. And I think it's kind of cool because you can set up multiple presets for the skill tree. So like if you want to go in one direction to start, you can. You set up your preset, you get it all, put the points in, get it all going. But then let's say later on you want to try something different. You can set up a whole nother preset and put points in a whole different way and then just swap between them at campfires. I thought that was kind of cool. You can do the same thing with your loadout for your move set, like with your animals, your weapons, things like that. You can change that as well in 2 different presets. So that was actually pretty interesting. And we did also learn how to enchant your armors and weapon, how to get them basically to have more power. The problem is I didn't have the gold to do it, so couldn't exactly go that far now. But that is something else we'll have to come back and look at later too. So my first view of the game wasn't too bad. If you like top view dungeon crawler type games like this, then this is certainly up your alley. I mean, the tutorial map itself is big and it's pretty big. You know, that is a decent size. I haven't even looked at the whole thing yet. I think the side off to the east, the southeast, is the only part I have not been to yet. But it's a pretty decent tutorial as well. And then once you're done with the tutorial, you take that little Stargate and the tutorial, move on. So it's not bad at all. I do want to know y'all's thoughts as well about the game. If you've played it before, what you think of it. If you haven't, just what you are curious about or what you're thinking about for it. So just let me know. I love y'all's opinions. This has been my first reviews of Fractured Online, my first few hours, about 3 hours of gameplay right here. Overall, it's not a bad game. If you're into the dungeon crawler type games, as I said, this is right up your alley. Again, I was given the key, so we'll come back. We'll take a look a little bit further into all the other aspects of the game as I progress. But for right now, it's not too bad. Please make sure you like and subscribe for more. I appreciate y'all for sticking around. You are amazing. Have a great day.